All right, I guess we're live. Anybody want to open with prayer today, or need to go to the water fountain or anything?
Oh, geez. No, I'm just gonna throw up my sign to let everybody know that I'm in the official. Yes, I'm in the official gang for the church. Yeah, this is my sign. Yep. I'm in it to win it.
Guys. Yep. No blue squares here. Sorry.
But no, I didn't prepare for my ministry school part.
It's all right. We'll do a local needs about preparation next week.
Okay. I'll make sure that I'm prepared next time. I'm sorry.
All right.
So, excuse me, I have to highlight the screen here where I have my other information during the talk.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so my trick used to be to fold my watchtower in half, and then I could just lay my hand over it when the mic rover went by, so that he couldn't rat me out. But
that's kind of smart.
Yeah, you gotta do.
I wonder why some people always had it folded like that. I wonder if that was the trick.
Yep, that's why. It was also easy to comment. Like if you wanted to stand up at the back, like come out of the bathroom and get that like mini talk comment, it was easy to do that way too. All right, here we go. All right, because I can talk about anything forever, so I'll be good. What's up, Ronnie? How's it going, man? Welcome to Foggy Frequencies. Yo, what's going on? How you doing?
Hey.
This is like the first episode. There was like a little bit of rumblings that Rion got started on TikTok, and I figured it was worth talking about. So I rounded up the posse, and I figured we would talk about the JW blood doctrine. Like it's like the quintessential, like, okay, I get the no Christmas stuff, but you would rather die than take a blood transfusion? Like that was always the one that my coworkers got hung up on, especially with kids. But I didn't have kids at the time, so it was very easy just to kind of pair the line off because it's different when you have kids. But just want to do a real quick introduction to everybody. This is Jonathan X Jehovah's Witness Awake. I got a banner for him with his link tree on it. His link tree is also in the description. So check out his stuff. He's got a fun TikTok. He tries to sing a little bit, but he always has excellent JW information. So check out his link tree, find out where he is, get some merch. Then we got Miss Tax to Churches on TikTok over here.
Or whatever name you find me on.
Yeah, keep looking.
If you can find me.
TikTok does not like her. When she gets going, man, like it's usually like a ban fest or she gets suspended because somebody doesn't like it, and that usually says a lot to me. So
it must be Jehuber.
Yeah, it must be. I remember my mom used to tell me like when I couldn't find my meeting shoes, it was Satan. And I'm like,
oh Jesus Christ!
My room is also like really, really messy, so it could be a little bit of that too. But
prankster, prankster Satan.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing better to do. But
Bobby Boucher losing her shoes is the devil.
Oh my gosh. I always look at that, and when everybody's laughing, I'm like, that's kind of my mom also, But I don't know. Maybe we should just start with a definition of what the Dubs believe for their blood doctrine. That way we can completely remove ourselves from any opinion on this, and we can just like get some things chatted out and hashed out and talk about this letter. All right, I'm still not great at switching my screens. Here we go. Let's do it.
Take your time.
All right, here we go. Yeah. So this is on jw.org, and it says, why don't Jehovah's Witnesses accept blood transfusions? So this is a religious issue rather than a medical one. So
right.
Both the Old and the New Testament clearly command us to abstain from blood. Also, God views blood as representing life. So we avoid taking blood not only in obedience to God, but also out of respect for him as the giver of life. All right.
Look at me getting close to my bad eyes. My eyes are getting bad, y'all, just saying.
All right. So, Jonathan,
the paradise ain't going to fix me.
Was there any Was there any lies detected there from what we grew up believing, Rion? Like, what do y'all think?
Any lies detected? You know, I just don't get the whole, like, I can completely understand where Jewish people feel like they need to eat a certain way. Like, I can totally get that from the scriptures.
Yep.
But what I don't get is allowing somebody to die. In fact, what I do get is you would want to save life because life is sacred. So I completely get a different idea of what the scriptures say from what they get. I mean, back then it made sense.
Yeah, it made sense because they told us to make it make sense.
Right.
You're on the inside.
Made me make it make sense. Make it make sense. Yeah.
But no, you guys remember blood card, like after book study nights?
Oh,
like
yeah.
blood
That was
card
like a big deal. That was actually like exciting. That was almost like there wasn't much. That was exciting night.
Yep.
Ryan, would you sign my card, please?
Yeah. Oh, you want me to sign your card? I'll sign your card.
Like, oh,
yeah.
I'm so privileged.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Of course I will. Yeah. Oh, isn't it a shame that was like a highlight?
I so remember that. Like, it would be like, if you didn't go to the hall, that was usually like dessert night also. Like, people would kind of help you to hang out a little bit longer and wait for an elder to come by and witness you signing your blood card.
Yeah.
Now, I assume that.
How's it going?
I kept that card for a long time.
Thanks you guys for hanging out today.
Yeah. I assume that nobody's carrying theirs anymore.
No. I actually just got rid of mine not that long ago, only a few years ago. Like, well, I say a few. Oh my God. Like 5-ish or so.
That's a few.
Yeah.
So was it like a really weird feeling? When you're like, I'm not carrying this anymore. Oh,
it was because I didn't. It was hard for me to realize who that person was and the difference of the person I am now, and just how I see things, and the fact that maybe I could have really died or something, and I'd have been proud of it. Like, no, I do not want to sacrifice myself to some old men, 7 or 8 old men. I just don't want to do it. Not now.
And I guess that's like one whole side of the Rubik's Cube, right? Is exactly that. Like, fortunately, I never had a situation that required me to have a blood card. I had one surgery in my 20s. And but I remember my dad having knee surgeries, and I remember like there would be 2 doctors that would come in and they would say, "Are you sure that with none of your family," they would always ask everybody else to leave. "Are you sure that no matter what, you don't want us to do anything that we can to save you if there's a mistake on the operating table?" And it was always something my dad said, "No, don't save me. Like, go buy my blood card."
Mm-hmm. Yep. They were adamant, very adamant. That was like a big deal. That was like, I'm going out. If I'm going out, I'm going out. That's what Jehovah wants.
Yep.
That would have to be freaky too, to be in a situation to where like the hospital liaison committee is all up in your business. And
and I've heard like they're pretty intimidating. Like they're hounding. They're there. They don't.
Have either one of you guys like been party to the hospital liaison committee showing up? Like,
no.
I have once.
Oh, you have with your dad, with your father?
No, not with my dad. It was when I was still going, but I knew, you know what I mean? Someone close had a heart attack, and I had to go. I left work, and the gentleman shows up from the liaison committee, and he talks to the doctor separately from everybody else, and he goes in and talks to the patient. And then he comes out and it's all of us. It was obviously there was a lot of witnesses, but they say a prayer basically like confirming that we all stand behind this person's, it felt like imminent death. And because this was what they were going to decide, and we had to be courageous that they had the faith to stand by their decision. It was very eerie. Like, once you know, like, none of this in real life, none of it should mean anything, but it also does. It was very eerie, like, to hear like the stone cold truth in action.
Yeah.
And it was just very bizarre.
Creepy.
It's kind of like being on the side of a building and like having some guys going, hold up, it's his right to jump off this building. Don't try and save him.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Just messed up.
I couldn't imagine being in that position, like being in a medical position and just, are you sure you want to die? Like, are you sure you want to die? Are you sure this is what you want?
I can't wait to get to the second part of this conversation, guys. Like, it's so bizarre. Like, it's that juicy question of people saying, and you don't think about it. Like, I never thought about that as a witness. Like, I don't know what you're. No, like, Jonathan, like, we all have had different experiences, but like, Jonathan, like, you were a brother, like,
yeah.
So even like, as a brother, even if you don't have like quote unquote status, like, you're privy to certain things because they have to entice you with them. They have to, like, this is the next level. Like, you'll graduate beyond cleaning that chrome bar on the back of the seats and cutting the grass one day.
I was good at that.
Yes, absolutely.
I was a big
need you in the new system,
Man, I loved sitting back taking care of that mic system. Let me tell you.
Did you? Yeah, that was cool. That was like your tech position. I loved it. I was
IT.
Yeah, we would be disciplined. You could, if you chose blood, you would. People have been disfellowshipped.
Yeah, there's versions of the Shepherd the Flock book that say, like, the minute that somebody consciously takes a blood transfusion, it's almost the same as what they say about interfaith. It's like, once that happens, they've disassociated themselves.
Yeah, I was just gonna say they consider disassociation.
Yeah,
by action, rather than by a letter or something.
I hate it. Punch the air. Sorry.
I haven't had a what do you call it? Hospital liaison thing or surgery or anything like that.
Yep.
But after leaving, my son had to have surgery, so I went through that same sort of like feeling of like,
sure,
because he had to have he had to have surgery as an infant, and it was like there was no way around the blood issue. No, I was definitely out, but it's just the indoctrination is just like, it makes you feel weird because I'm like, yeah, go ahead and give him blood because I'm gonna have to, and it just felt like I was asking, like, is there a blood alternative? and the doctor's basically like, no.
I know. I did the same
but I'm like,
thing.
okay, I wasn't gonna stop it, but it still felt weird, because they just put it in you.
It's that guilt and shame. That doesn't leave. It sticks with you. Even when the knowledge is there, you still carry the emotional baggage. It's hard to get rid of that part of it. That psychological damage is still like, I did a bad thing.
Yep.
I saved my kid. How dare I? But I just to say, I had a surgery 7-ish years ago. And I was still thinking that the J-dubs had the right thing. I just couldn't I just wasn't a good enough person to be able to uphold their standards. And so I had surgery, and I made sure I had my blood card, and I went to the hospital liaison and watched the videos. I made my husband watch the videos with me, and he's just like, everything went fine. But like, we've had the conversation since then. He's like, honey, like, of course I would have made you take blood. You would have taken. I was like, well, of course I probably would have, but like, at the time I was thinking I was doing the right thing. I was thinking that they knew something I didn't. And now looking back, I'm like, oh my goodness gracious, how many people have just walked right into the furnace, sacrificing themselves to this governing body.
Yep.
Ugh, sorry.
No, it's okay. This is it. Like, this is why this conversation matters, because there are people like us who sometimes you run away so fast that you forget the details. Like, you forget how heavy that blood doctrine is. Like, that's your kicker. Like, that's the scary thing. It's like, okay, yeah, I can get baptized and yeah, I can get status, but there's one thing that if something bad happens that I cannot do to save myself in real life. And so, like, you're so busy, you forget to ever measure that. And then once I got out, like, you run so far. Like, my blood card was one of the last things to come out of my wallet, just because I bought wallets based on where I could fit my blood card.
Yeah, if it could be visible.
If I open this wallet right up, this has a picture opening, and I can put
the clear
my blood
window
card right in it.
Oh fuck!
Every other dude in the world wallet is driver's license. Witness, dude, it's blood card. Driver's license is in there somewhere.
Oh man! Oh,
totally.
It's so tragic.
I can always spot witnesses at work, because if they open their wallet to pay, you see their blood card.
Like, okay, right there.
Yep. That was one of the ways I found out that I was, like, under constant investigative committees. Was I started to recognize how many blood cards I was seeing.
Yeah.
But no, it's this blood thing. It was always heavy on us because we're all around the same age, right? Like, we all grew up.
Yeah, I'm in my 30s. So.
I was once in my 30s.
I've been
there a few times.
Yeah, exactly.
And I've been out long enough that I have no clue what the meetings are really like now. Because I saw somebody say something about, like, they don't have district overseers anymore, and, like, I don't know what the meetings are like, so I don't know what's going on these days.
Yeah, they don't even have district. They call them, like, regional. They're like regional conventions, and then there's a different title to the hierarchy over the circuit overseer. But no, when we were younger, like, we were the Revelation book era. Yep. Like, we were the
Live Forever Revelation book.
Yeah,
I did kind of love that book. I'm not gonna lie.
It's very colorful.
It's eerie. It was the pictures. I just, like, even though they were freaking eerie and weird AF. I mean, the Jezebel, and that was my favorite one. Like, the harlot.
Yeah, it's like a airbrushed van ceremony.
Yes, I love it.
I was wondering, like, did you want to answer Gosh Gardner's question?
Oh yeah, I totally did. She asked if you would be disciplined if you chose to live. You don't choose to live. You chose to take blood, and the rules are you don't take blood. Right. So that's what we were saying earlier. Like, disassociation is like,
okay, yeah, I guess
when we were younger, it's like double disfellowshipping. It's like disfellowshipping with sprinkles. There's no return. If you disassociate, it's like you made a choice to stand against Jehovah's organization.
Because there's levels of leaving.
Sorry, I was sleeping when we covered it.
Oh my gosh.
There's different levels of like if you don't realize, like, if people don't realize, like, the way you leave the organization, there's different ways that you can kind of do it. Some are better than others. Yep. Some are with a blaze of glory.
Yeah.
They got the pros and cons.
Yeah.
There's always a negotiation. Sometimes people get this fellowship and then they leave, but their deal is, my mom will still see my kids, but I have to come to the memorial every year.
Yeah.
Or I'll hang back and be quiet, and they'll just, my parents will let me leave, and I'll answer the door, and I'll just tell the elders I'm working a lot every time they come by. But You still honor this blood thing. You still honor all the rules. Like it's still you just don't go to the Kingdom Hall, but you still carry the weight of being a Jehovah's Witness and knowing that if something happens to you or your kids, you have to wonder if you're going to go to paradise or not.
Yeah. There's always that blood guilt. It's crazy because everything centers around blood. Blood guilty. Don't take
blood guilty. Always blood guilty. And
blood guilt, man. That's a big one. You could die for being blood guilty.
Yeah. So
you didn't go out in service enough, you're blood guilty.
Yeah.
Yes.
You didn't save enough people.
Yep. That's like blood guilty is like being a Jehovah's Witness, but also being an apostate. It's like you carry both. You know, it's like, here's what your trouble is, you know, so you can stay around, but know that you carry the stain.
Bye, Amber. I don't know if they heard me.
Oh, see you, Amber. Have a good evening.
Bye, Amber. Have a good one.
But when did you guys leave?
5-ish plus years for me. 5, 6, 7.
Okay. What about you, Jonathan?
I was out and I was actually disfellowshipped in 2011.
Okay, so you've been out. You've probably
been a while.
You've been out much longer than me. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I've been saying. Like, I don't know what the meetings are like.
Yeah. So
I was out before the broadcast happened, so I'm like, oh, that's new.
Okay.
Good. Yeah.
Perfect. So Ryan, it got weird after like they pushed. Like there was a point where it became something that I didn't recognize anymore.
Yeah, I didn't either. I definitely didn't, because I left for a little while, and then that little stint of coming back just 5 to 7 years ago, and I was like, "What is this?
Yep,
this is wild. This is like a televangelist. This is exactly what they hated."
Yeah. Yep. It was everything that we got told was the worst.
Everything. They're preachers on TV begging for money, like Jim Baker. And then looky here.
Yeah.
What are you doing, mister, with the frickin' rolly asking for money, please? And
so it became less scary to be a Jehovah's Witness. Like it just kind of became silly. And that was kind of like, when I was a kid, it was like, nope, one day you're going to go into the Kingdom Hall and they're going to lock the doors and you're never going to leave the Kingdom Hall in this system again. So you should always want to go to the Kingdom Hall. And it was like, that's how they like rode the wave of that blood transfusion thing. And when I was a kid, or your book study, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. It was always in a basement, so
it's always life or death.
Yeah.
Everything.
You never know what you're going to say yes to. And if you were at home instead of at the meeting, you could have been in your house and your house could have burned down. But if you were at the Kingdom Hall, at least you would have survived.
And they share stories like that, like it's supposed to. Like,
we got so many blood transfusion talks of kids who died saying that they were going to rip the needle out of their arm with the blood transfusion.
Oh, I remember. Yeah.
Oh man. And it was so bizarre because there was a point that there were like 2 or 3 kids that were in the newspaper down south that were Jehovah's Witnesses that died, and they're like their court cases were in the newspaper. So we always talked about it. And then we happened to have a circuit assembly right in that same town, and the news was there. And it was like, look at how faithful, like this is what it's going to be like at Armageddon when these worldly people are in our assemblies. And we're saying courageously, even our youngest children will turn down blood. You can't. A kid can't know anything about what to believe to be a Jehovah's Witness, because even adult Jehovah's Witnesses don't know. Because if they knew, they wouldn't be Jehovah's Witnesses anymore.
If you're programmed to, if you program your kid to do something and to like something, they don't really know much better.
When their biggest decision is whether to have bananas or Fruity Pebbles for breakfast.
Right.
Yes, exactly.
Like they're not going to do that. Life or death there.
Yeah. Well, have the apple Danish or the cheese Danish at the circuit assembly this year.
Shasta.
Yeah.
Oh
Shasta.
man, the
ginger
Shasta.
ale Shasta. Yes.
Remember the Shastas? Yeah. Boy.
But with that shift, that fear of like gloom and doom and blood went away. And it was still talked about. Like you still knew as a Jehovah's Witness, you abstained from blood. Mm-hmm. But there was only like that one like funky Tony Morris talk that he gave about that kid that was probably made up. And I'm realizing a lot of things that I believed were like made up.
Okay. I think I know what you're saying now. You did give that talk. I'm trying to picture it now.
Yeah. So even as the kids grow up, exactly. You don't know what you don't know. You don't know what you don't know. And so if your kid can't make a choice on whether to live or die, and you teach them to make a choice, or you make it for them, that's not faith, but it's something like that's forcing. That's human sacrifice. And it's like they have a actual body count. Like they've topped Jim Jones already, probably, many times.
That's what I think it is. I think it's just like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, right up in that furnace. I mean, I'm just saying.
Passing through the fire for the Baal, right?
Yeah.
That's exactly what I always think of, Jonathan. It's exactly what I think.
I mean, it really kind of to me, whenever I hear like the Christians go crazy about like abortion and they say like, oh, they're sacrificing.
Take care, Ronnie.
Like, no, you're like, this is the real sacrifice right here. Like what the Jehovah's Witnesses do, what some of these churches do to these kids, forcing baptism and don't let them live. Like that's sacrificing to your God, my friend.
Yeah, because
you there.
You remember the ID cards, Jonathan? Y'all remember that, like kids before they got baptized, they signed the ID card. It was like a blood card, but
like the unbaptized publisher.
Yeah.
Oh, farts! Yeah. I remember that.
It's all built to like get you trained into like it's just a ceremony of handing over a card that you're signing. That's a legal document over and over and over again every year, and it's just what you're supposed to do.
Did you see the video where, I don't remember which governing body member said it, but he said like kids should be learning how to read and write so that way they can start participating in the letter writing campaigns. And many kids have been doing so.
I heard that somewhere.
Yeah, I got to find where it is, but I mean, we shouldn't be teaching our kids to read, and especially not to read this literature just so they can start writing letters to strangers. That's what we're doing now. Letting our kids write letters to strangers. I wonder if they're going to let them write to people in prison. Right. I mean, come on now.
Yep. I learned how to read to give talks. Like I was, that was the tool. It was exactly what it was. Like, okay, now you can read, now you can give talks. But just years go by and the blood doctrine continues, but it's not talked about. And all these other things happen, right? Like you teach your kids to read and write based on the truth. And you teach them, and you guys know how I'm saying the truth. I'm not saying the truth in that it's the real truth.
Yeah.
Exactly. Certain restrictions apply. Exactly.
Asterisk.
Yes. Please read footnote.
Yes.
But they slip things through that go unnoticed, that as the world changes, you realize it carries weight. And so, Rion, when you posted that letter the other day, I had to go find it. And it's okay.
It's messed up.
Have you read it? You've read it, haven't you, Jonathan?
Yeah, I was looking at it.
Yeah.
The two letters.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's two letters, one from 2018, one from 2019.
Yeah.
And then there's a whole, there is a Reddit thread that Mark O'Donnell posted that has a few more secret letters of back and forth, and you can see that there's a lot of confusion. I can send you the link, I'm sorry, but you can tell that there's a lot of confusion between like the HLC, is that
yeah,
and the governing body, because they don't want like the letters getting out, they don't want it being shared and stuff.
I got the letter. I got the 2 letters here on my screen. If you want me to share them, if you don't have.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Yeah, please do. Right. I didn't want to ask you to read because that kind of felt like, brother, will you read the next paragraph?
Can you open your book and read awesome. Psalms?
Let's see. Here we go. Okay. I think you have to actually do it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I gotta add it to the stream. All right,
I added it as a guest.
Yeah, that's awesome. No worries.
That's awesome.
There you go. So that is the that's the newer one. So I'll go to the older one.
Yeah, that was the one that got my attention for sure.
Yeah, so it's saying updating the policy with regard to whether a Christian may administer a blood transfusion if he is directed to do so by a superior. Previously, it was a personal matter. However, after carefully reviewing the matter, the governing body has determined that administrating such a transfusion is so closely linked to an unscriptural practice that one unquestionably becomes an accomplice to a wrong practice.
You're blood guilty.
Appropriate. Yeah, so you're screwed if you do
it. Yes, don't do it.
What the hell, man?
So here's what I gleaned from that one is, yes, I knew a Jehovah's Witness that was a nurse when I was a kid because I worked food service at the hospital, and it would have been encouraging for her to like walk off her job for being a Jehovah's Witness. Like I remember, like if that had happened, I'd be like, yeah, like how courageous. But it's such a messed up thing to have to choose, right? Like that's such a messed up choice to have to make, to like walk off your job. And like you remember all those assemblies we used to go to, they would talk about people who couldn't get the assembly off, so they were gonna quit their job, and then their boss called and cried,
highlighted
and
those
like,
stories.
paid them double when they got back home.
They always would highlight
that
stories
never
like
happens.
That. No.
You just stay fired.
It never happened though.
You just get a new job, fool.
Yeah, in the summer they find some kid to work for half of what they were paying you, and that's that.
They just make stuff up.
You know what I thought about when I read that letter is like all the witnesses that are in places like the Ukraine that have jobs in the medical field, and maybe now, like during hopefully the endings of a pandemic and the beginnings of a war in their country, they have to not help people when their job is to help people when there's already so few people to help people. It's unreal.
Yeah, it's unfathomable.
You're going to have a lot of injuries that are going to require blood transfusion.
Right.
Absolutely.
In a time of crisis, you would just... How is that? It's just not. It isn't godly.
You're gonna invoke Toni Morris as to why you can't help somebody.
I invoke Toni Morris.
Yeah,
that's the next amendment.
Yeah.
Who needs a First Amendment? I got Toni. I
just
Toni
don't.
Morris.
That sounds like
don't understand
a bad Pokemon ripoff. I invoke Toni Morris.
I don't choose
throwing hot dogs and tight pants.
Burnt hot dogs.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh man. Oh, it's criminal. It's criminal.
But it represents something so grim, and I think that's when it switches over to a from the Jehovah's Witness chessboard of things that you have to do as a witness to what do you feel like as a person for sitting on the trauma you sit on as a witness, and then either having to go through somebody not helping somebody who needed your help, or walking off your job to support your family or yourself for this organization that has no positive ending. There's no paradise. Like, no. I don't know.
None of the promises are gonna come through.
Yeah, they have nothing to offer. They have zero to offer for your sacrifice, whether that's your job, whether it's you not taking a blood transfusion, whether it's you choosing for your children to not take a blood transfusion. There's nothing they can ever give you back. And they
keep giving.
Yeah. You doesn't give matter. Until there's nothing left to give.
Because they tell you you're not giving enough. Yeah. So you keep giving. It's never going to be enough.
Yeah.
So you just keep on giving. You keep giving your blood. You're donating your blood to them.
Yep.
I was thinking back to the subject of like the people in the Ukraine. Like, if you're in the medical field, you're a doctor, you've taken an oath to help people.
Right.
Yep.
To be in that position to where you now have to go and choose an oath to Jehovah and the organization and the oath as a doctor to help people. I mean, can you imagine how hard that would be to be in that situation? Wouldn't want to do
it. No.
I don't know. I have no idea what I would do. I have zero idea, but there's got to be so many people who are affected by this. I was talking to Jane about it, and because she's doing some research about some of the medical stuff. And there's got to be so many other people in the medical field that this could affect that we don't even, that you don't really think about, like phlebotomists and etc.
Everything,
no idea
there's a huge ripple effect.
Yeah, I mean, what if you just drive the blood around? I don't know. What if you're just the transport? Now, can you now say, I don't feel comfortable transporting? Like, when? How does it stop? What's the next thing?
I bet I would have.
And that's the thing. But now what else can they stop? What else can they tell you can't do? Because then they say a Christian would not do this. But it is your choice. Your choice is breaking God's law.
Your Bible-trained conscience.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yes.
So,
Bible-trained
and I get it. Like, this is all to avoid litigation. Like, I get the whole purpose behind it. But witnesses don't read between the lines. They're just going to see, like, no, I'm not supposed to do this. I can't do this. But when they go to court, when J-dubs go to court, they can say, oh, we just say you just follow your conscience. You can do what you want to do. It's okay to break God's law.
It's like
he was going to disfellowship you.
All those men that went to prison because they wouldn't go to Vietnam, and now the ruling from the society is that there was nothing ever written that would make those guys choose to go to prison over going to war. Zero accountability.
Wow. Is that wild? There's got to be some wild stories out there that people have never gotten told. The people probably just feel too guilty and don't even know the truth.
I'd love to rewrite history.
Right? My goodness.
So that's really the only way anything is going to change.
This whole issue with being a nurse or a doctor and refusing to do that for somebody to be involved in a blood transfusion, it makes me think about the other things to where the law is saying about, well, if you're a Christian and this gay couple comes in and offends you can refuse service. It all kind of fits in that vein. There's a lot of people that just don't agree with that. Like,
what if you're
and this is life and death. This isn't somebody's cake. This is, they may die.
Right. Like, it does suck for it would suck for you. That's why, like, I wouldn't even trust. Maybe that's mean to say, but at this point, how could you even trust any medical professional who is a JW? How could you trust their work?
So
any of their work in any position that they are in, because who knows at what point they might say that
there's always something that they're going to choose over you. There's a line that it may be unattainable for who they are, but they will always choose the organization over you at some point, because that's
you shouldn't be allowed to have a freaking job in any type of authoritative position as a JW. Just don't freaking take it.
Anything short of Jehovah / AK, the organization, is just like, well, they lose.
Yep, that's it. So, I had a question. I was going to ask both of y'all that was about blood and the hospital.
Sorry, I move so much, guys.
No, it's okay. What if us or somebody like us goes to the hospital and our nurse is a Jehovah's Witness? How do we trust care? How do you trust care?
I would feel weird. I would feel anxious now, because are they going to say like, "Oh, I can't"?
So, y'all, I'm a deep diver, but most of what I say, I have a reason for saying it. And like, if I ever have to produce receipts, I probably could. Might take me a minute, but I probably could. So I'm just going to say this. Okay, what does it sound like when this letter exists in like 2019? The pandemic happens, World War happens, and witnesses do a lot of personal, like a lot of reconfirming, right? Mm-hmm. They read back a few years in the Watchtower, and it's talking about how elders have to have courage similar to that of Jehu when he slaughtered the apostates. Hold up. Don't do that yet. But then you flash forward to David Splain saying that you're at war with apostates. If I'm laid up in a hospital, how do I not know that this Jehovah's Witness is not loyal love, God is love, may God's love move us to love? Like, for me, this is like the danger that witnesses, like reading, quote unquote, reading between the lines with conscience matters and saying, well, my conscience told me that this person didn't deserve to live because they made a joke on TikTok about the Jehovah's Witnesses. Mm-hmm. They told our secrets. They said the second school. Nobody knows about the second school.
Right. You don't know.
And now you have an army of medical warriors that have like metrics on having some very odd beliefs in a very high percentage. Asher, what's up? How's it going, man? Long time no see. Another like exjw warrior. Also,
yeah.
Like
hello,
one of the first few videos that I watched as an XJW was from Asher. Really, really
awesome. I have to make sure
I'll have to check it out.
Follow, yeah.
Yes, real courageous human being. Man, me and Professor.
We'll check it out. Have my people call your people.
Yeah, exactly.
Excuse me.
But
I think I'm feeling what you're saying here. Say if somebody's a paramedic and you got involved in a terrible car crash, and they know that you're like disfellowship, would they be like, I don't know if I can help this person.
Yeah.
I'm not even supposed to greet them or talk to
them.
Would they just let you die?
Yeah. You drive real fast and I'm not going to close the back of the ambulance up and we'll just let the stretcher fall out by accident. Weekend at Bernie's, you know?
Yeah, I couldn't.
Just see him on the stretcher, just rolling down the street.
Yep.
I'm sorry, that's not funny.
It's not. This is what the organization made us. It made us laugh at some really dark stuff.
Dark things, yeah.
Yep.
Dark thinking kind of thoughts, you know.
But no, like this is what this represents, guys. Like, what is this? Where is this going?
I don't know, and I don't understand because it doesn't. To me, it makes no sense because I feel like they've always just said, for the most part, like, I don't know. This just seems a bit deeper because now I just don't know how far it can. Like, is this just to test the waters to see, like, who respond, like how many people fight back, and then now we can start clamping down on more things and saying like you can't associate with that, and if you do, like that's a I don't know. I don't get it.
What do you think, Jonathan? Like, give me some answers.
Come on, Jonathan. You know the answer.
You gotta know. You gotta know.
What their end game is for this?
Yeah,
what's the end game, Jonathan? We need to know this.
I feel it's a lot of the CYA where they're basically saying this is what you need to do, but we didn't say that's what you need to do because that's your decision. You better watch out. I'm watching you.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like it's a lot of that. It's just trying to not be culpable, even though you know they are.
But why? Like, why?
Control. It's all control.
It's like they could have just let it be like, you know what? It's a personal matter. We've already given our direction. We've said this is our but they just gotta keep fucking picking at shit. You know?
Can I heavy speculate on this live, like with two other individuals that have different perspectives?
Allegedly.
Yes. Okay. Do y'all, like, for real though? Do y'all mind? Because I'll do it some other time. Okay. I think they're opening a hospital. I think they're going to open a hospital.
Really?
Yep. I think that the play is you find out who's going to quit their jobs, and their faith will tell us that they're good doctors or good nurses. There's not a lot of them, but they don't need a lot of them. Like it.
I mean, they do have facilities where people live. Like, do they've
purchased they've purchased a whole town, like practically in New York. They've purchased it where the buildings are. They've purchased building this big studio. This big new production studio. Mm-hmm. I personally think that the number of witnesses is dwindling. I think that they will now be exposed as never, ever having close to 8 million witnesses on Earth at one time. I bet that number is not even close. It's laughable. They're going to sell all these other branches around the world. They'll find a way to ride this political wave, and they'll swoop in like they're doing now. They'll get all the brothers out of Russia, because it's not that many. Fly them all to New York because I still say, what do they have to do for the entire world to turn on Jehovah's Witnesses? I'm sure it won't just be Jehovah's Witnesses. What are they up to? Like, what are they going to get proven wrong for?
You think they're trying to make? Sorry, I mean,
they're trying to make moves, please, like big moves. Go for it.
It sounds like a Kevin McBride, like Dubtown situation over there. Where
it's like, Jonestown. Yeah, this is Jim Jones. It's Jim Jones in New York. They are going to. Yeah, they own. They still got farms in Patterson.
Oh, okay. I thought they sold Patterson. Yep. Okay.
There's also a real estate company. They keep the blood doctrine alive in some form. It's one of the things that separates them from mainstream Christianity. I could definitely see them building it. Yep. Once the number is revealed of it's not that many Jehovah's Witnesses, the governing body is gone. The only thing we can think to do is get everybody together. But then the governing body is not really gone. Because where are they going to go? They're people. They're real estate moguls. So they either come back fake or they just come back. And they say, good news, just hang out here. We have a hospital. We have buildings for you to live in. We've turned these 3-bedroom apartments into 1-bedroom apartments. We just filled them up with beds for your family. You are all Bethelites. You're all Bethelites. Circle the wagons. How many times have you heard witnesses like in their memes? I don't know if you guys I still follow some Facebook JW meme accounts, and they always talk about, time to close ranks, time to circle the wagons, time to stop associating with anybody who didn't do anything with true worship.
I mean, they have said that. I mean, when that time comes, they're going to say it's time to clank down. I just thought that when that time came, the world would literally be people clack, clack, clack all over the, you know what I mean? I just saw people running around with guns, just crazy shooting. That's what I thought would, and I'm okay, well, yeah, we clanking down. We ain't going outside. But who knows where they have these people's minds that they don't think that this is it. This is a pandemic on top of a war. This has got to be it.
It's that weird thing of war, violence, and peace and security.
But that's just it, though. It's now they've instilled it in us. We have older kids now, if we're still witnesses. But because we buried that Armageddon trauma so deep that now it's hell on earth is back. It's very easy for them to apply pressure now.
Yeah.
Because now it's like they told us it was going to be when we were kids. Now it's like the Revelation book. And it's vague because you haven't read the Revelation book in so long. But now they have a hospital, and the friends who quit their jobs to go work at this hospital. Yeah. You also know that you can recruit a lot of these people who have quit their jobs in the medical field for other reasons. And if all you got to do, it's kind of like going to Brigham Young, it's I got to learn a little bit about being a Mormon, but my college is really inexpensive.
Right. I mean, you don't need much to really, you just need something a little bit appealing to people who are desperate. I mean,
oh my goodness. Can you imagine if they start a university, but it's actually just a technical school, so they get plumbers and electricians and stuff?
Squeegee makers.
Yeah.
We burned down all the tires we found at Armageddon, and we make premium squeegees that last 84 years.
Yep.
That's so wrong. Oh my god.
But
just think of other things they can do. Oh, shit.
I know y'all. I know how I sound. But every time I think about something like this, I remember that they posted many, many times and said, you got to be ready to do whatever we ask you to, no matter if it makes sense, no matter even written in watchtowers that people study.
Not wrong.
No matter if it's logical or strategic from a human standpoint or not, you got to do it.
Right.
Well, they already failed at the nursing home thing. So we'll see.
Oh, okay, so just clarify. Are you saying there is a hospital?
There's a building in New York that was a hospital.
Okay.
I do if you follow the money, there is a company called Mountain Brook Limited that is owned by them that is also has a lot of ties to medical doctors. There is a building that Watchtower owns that is listed as having medical staffing. But there's also a lot of money in hospitals. A lot of people invest in hospitals.
Oh, yeah.
So,
and they got the money.
Yeah, if they can have there's Catholic-based hospitals.
Right.
And it makes sense, too, because those governing bodies are old, man. So they got to get that medical treatment.
Exactly.
And I mean, you know what? So the hospital that I went to and had my surgery, it was touted as a bloodless surgery hospital. You know how they had special hospitals that did that. Oh, yeah. And the hospital eventually closed. But yeah, I mean that would make sense because all the J-dubs in the area would go to that hospital for bloodless surgery. And I mean,
yeah, that actually makes sense.
There's a lot of J-dubs who would go to a special facility to have surgery if they knew that it was going to be.
And wouldn't it be?
Shut the fuck up.
And wouldn't it be convenient if it was in New York, right near Bethel, so you know it's good? But wouldn't it also be better if you just lived closer to this hospital because it's a bloodless hospital?
I'm just saying that would make a lot of sense.
You can't put anything past Watchtower.
Because I might have even heard people say that, like, I wish they just had a, go there and get my, so then you wouldn't have to worry.
People travel all across the world to go to a specialized hospital, like for kids or whatever. Mm-hmm. So there's no reason why any witness has got the cash to do it wouldn't go there.
Right.
Yeah, you're like, well, I'm going to be good with the governing body. They're going to do the best that they can to keep me alive.
And if I die, wouldn't it be better to die in a hospital? Like they used to say, oh, there was a lot of people were late to the convention. I don't know if y'all remember this or not. I'm sorry.
How dare you? This is your show.
There's all these. I remember going to like circuit assembly specifically, and you would get stuck in traffic. It'll be because of an accident, but it's on the highway, right? So you get to the circuit assembly, it's a little bit late, and they say, well, sadly, one of our brothers lost their lives in an accident. But we know that because they were on their way to the convention that they are in Jehovah's heart.
Mm-hmm. Like, no.
Number one, if that happened, that's really messed up. But number two, if that didn't happen and they just said it, that's really messed up. And I believe that a lot of the things that they said were nonsense.
Wasn't true. Right. Because everything they say is nonsense. Like, this is the thing. Like, I can't put anything past them at this point because I realize now that everything that they have fed us has been nonsense. And they know it's nonsense because, come on now, I'm an intelligent person. They're making it up. They know God isn't talking to them. Yeah. So absolutely that anything could be possible. And all they need is just a little bit of carrot to dangle in front of people. And look, now they think that the internet's cool and it's cool to beg for money on the TV station. Well, their TV station. So surely they could open a hospital or open up apartments and get people there. Surely.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if the GB will still be alive by that time. I mean, time is ticking, oh boy.
Yeah, they'll be offshore somewhere by then. Like they're prepping for it.
We need to have
in the Bahamas.
We need to have like a list.
Secret island.
We need to have a list to see who's the next one down.
No.
And that thing about, we're sure that they were good with Jehovah because they were on the way to the meeting or the circuit assembly. So I guess if you're picking up Cheetos at Walmart and you get killed in a car accident,
Yeah.
That's stupid.
Yeah.
She had a pornographic magazine in her car.
Yeah. Okay, so this is how I write. Like, I write horror, but this is how I write. I write like a witness in the store, and they're in line getting their bag of Cheetos or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And they hear somebody saying something that they know that they should go over an informal witness to. But instead they leave and they go outside and they get hit by a car. And they got hit by a car because they should have been inside informal witnessing. It's like that's the point. That's why they told you that story. You're like, what?
Oh my God, it's sick. I love it.
Yep.
I'm sorry. I think I smoked.
But no, like those are the.
That's good.
Those are the things that, like, those are the stories that I grew up with. Because
that's like the stories that would keep you up at night as a JW. Yep. Like if somebody said good luck to me and I didn't say like, I didn't say like,
I didn't tell me it wasn't because of luck.
I don't believe in luck. No, I'm like, oh, thank you. Oh, now Jehovah hates me.
Yeah, I better not do good because it might be that good luck. It might be Satan. It might be Satan blessing me.
Yeah,
Ryan, you should know better.
How dare I?
Oh, I did it the wrong way. This way.
Right. It's okay. I'm like, which way am I looking?
Where is he? The Brady Bunch over here.
Yeah.
Hollywood Squares.
Yep.
Right. Oh man, that's too much.
Yes, they do. Actually, they do know what Jehovah's judgment is, and you have to wait a year. You have to write a letter that the elders approve of, and then Jehovah will approve of you.
You know what I think is wild? I'm sorry, I know this is off topic, but just like to talk to people who like understand my brain, because I said this to my girlfriend once. Like when I got disfellowshipped, and you know how like they say that God talks to them, and then like that's how they get they know how the punishment needs to come across. Like they pray about it, and the Holy Spirit. So I remember like telling my girlfriend like not that long ago about this, because she's she never was baptized, but anyway, she's like faded-ish or whatever.
She understands, right?
She's kind of like a physically in, a mentally in, but physically out kind of almost. Sure. Yeah. So anyhow, and I was saying about like when I got like disfellowshipped, and like I believed them when they told me that God said this was my punishment. And she was like, what? She was like, they said that? And I was like, yeah, God, they believed God taught. They don't believe. I'm like, no, they actually believe that like they get Holy Spirit, and they know what God's thinking, and it comes upon them to do the things that they do in their daily life. She's like, I don't know if it works like that. I'm like, no, they believe it works like that. Yep. Now, I don't believe that they believe it works like that, but that's how
the way they set it up. Yeah.
My husband told me, he was like, you should have just said you were anointed. Like, what is wrong with you? Why didn't you just say you were anointed and try to like throw your dick around a little bit? I was like, I should have. What if
you're not anointed?
I know, but they would have never known. I know because my guilt would have got me.
Jehovah knows.
Well, he said I could still just go back and said that God talked to me, and what could they say about it?
Have you read that Watchtower where they say disregard people who say they're anointed that's not in the governing body, because sometimes they're just hanging on to old beliefs, or they may just have other mentally
anguish.
Yeah, you remember that? Yeah. What is that exactly about? Are they trying to say some people aren't chosen like they think they are?
Yeah, that's our explanation for why the numbers went back up again. Because everybody's crazy.
I want to know, how do we find out the real deal numbers? Like, can they just lie? Is there a way to really know?
They count. I bet
I wish I was smarter.
That's ever existed twice.
They baptized.
Yeah, that's true. Twice. We don't really know. Like, everybody's got a piece of the puzzle, but I don't think they have the complete picture unless they're on the governing body.
Right. I just remember like during the Australian Royal Commission, and they were saying that it was 100,000 witnesses in Australia.
Yeah.
And then there's only 75,000 witnesses in Russia. And I'm like, that's two really big land masses. Where do you get to 8 million? Like at some point, there's got to be at least one other country that has as many witnesses as.
Well, U.S. has got. America. Well, that's where it all came from. So I'm thinking.
Yeah.
How many's in the U.S.?
How many? Yeah.
Let's see what the real number is. I was thinking 3 million.
3? Okay.
JWs are.
I got a kick out of Wally JW Thought talking about. He figured out that there's probably maybe about 3 million exjws right now.
Really?
Based on like,
DF numbers?
Yeah. Like the rates and like, the numbers and stuff.
Damn. Our numbers are climbing.
Yep.
I think there's more of us than them. We can take over. We want our donations we tell back.
The truth. Exactly. So, what's your final number, Jonathan?
Oh, I got to pick now.
Yeah, go ahead. What's your number?
For US, I am going to say 2.2 million.
All right. I said 3 million.
2.7.
Are we going by like Price is Right rules?
Yeah, if you go over, you're not going on stage.
I'll say 1.9. No, I'm just kidding.
One Jehovah's Witness.
Yeah, no kidding.
It's my mom. It's my mom.
I could have sworn you're going to say 2.2 plus 1.
Plus 1. Oh, shit.
None of us will be going on stage.
Ah, dang.
JW.org says that there are 1.255 million 657. Okay, let me start over. Hold on. 1,255,657 Jehovah's Witnesses
in the U.S.
In the United States.
That's it.
Where's
I'm going to get that trip to Aspen.
Nope.
No speedboat for you. Sorry, Jonathan.
Nah, dang.
So
but this would totally be a game in the new system, right? It's like the governing body has all the real numbers and they've inflated them to you for years.
But wait,
okay, yeah.
Okay, so Canada, what about Canada's probably another milli, right?
No, they're going to be
taking the most pleasant turn.
They're under a mil, I'm sure. They're like 200,000 at most, I'm guessing.
Oh my gosh. I can't believe my typing face is on YouTube forever.
Millions now living will leave the call. Yes.
All right. Here we go. Let's see. Jonathan, Canada.
Canada.
What's your number?
Oh. That's a tough one. I'm gonna say 175,000.
Ooh.
Oh.
Jonathan wants to go. He wants to play for the car. Okay.
All right.
Well, you're making me second guess my thought here, Jonathan. Sheesh.
Don't forget, Canada is like 10% the population of the U.S. So.
That's true. That's true. There's a lot of. Okay.
I think there's about. I want to say between 35 and 37 million in Canada.
Wow. Okay. I looked at the answer already, so I'm not going to participate. I'm kind of Bob Barker at this point.
I'll say 275,000.
See, that's what I was thinking too.
You overshot it.
You would have gotten both vacations.
Dang.
You'd have gotten both showcases for the population of Canada. I'm very impressed. 38,068,000.
Right.
Wow.
So you said between 35 and 37. I'll give you 37, and that's pretty doggone close.
Good job.
There are 118,533 Jehovah's Witnesses.
Good job.
JW.org.
That was really good. That was on point. That was really on point.
That was really good.
I'm sorry, y'all. I move a lot. I don't mean to move a lot.
So okay, so now let's do Mexico, because then that pretty much covers North America.
Okay, Mexico. Oh wait, are we going to do South America? But
we're just going to do North America because we know that that's probably that's got to be the continent that has the most Jehovah's Witnesses.
It's got. Wait, actually, how many do you think are in Africa? I should have asked Musa if he knew.
Okay, I'm going to look that up next because that might lead me to a second interesting
Because
point.
the freaking colonization shit.
Ooh.
They're over there money grabbers. They're over there money grabbing.
No.
They're just money grabbing, stealing land.
Okay, any guesses on Mexico?
Mexico?
I bet you it's big down there.
Okay,
but I don't know population.
Since you said what, about 118 for Canada?
118,000.
Something like that.
1.2 in America.
That's a tough one. I don't know what the Mexican population is.
I don't know neither. I'm gonna go with 200,000.
I feel like they're up and coming, so I'm gonna go with 350.
There's some solid unbaptized publishers in Canada. I mean, in Mexico. You never know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Okay. Mexico has a population of 130,262,000.
Oh, I'm off.
Damn.
They have a total number of 870,967 Jehovah's Witnesses.
Damn.
See, I second guessed myself because in my head I was like 600K.
There cannot be 8 million witnesses. I haven't even counted yet, but this is like counting the 30 in a deck of cards and having like 7 cards in your hand. And it's like, okay, I don't need to count the rest of these cards. Like, this is not a full deck.
Is there a high concentration somewhere else in Europe that I don't?
Nope.
It.
This is like figuring out 607 versus 587.
But this is factual, though. Okay.
Yeah.
Yo, man, this is the weirdest game show I've ever watched. As the one.
No, this totally
no
attaches
prizes
right to the continent of.
This is the weirdest game show.
But it is strange to think, like, are their numbers dropping either that quickly that they just can't even, like, are they just bleeding members, or have they just inflated their numbers?
They've inflated their numbers.
I think.
And we've just believed it because we just never thought to question it. I never really.
Like the going number that I've seen is on average, there's about 70,000 disfellowship people a year, right? That's a pretty good size
I
number.
just read that somewhere, but yeah, it might have been from you, Jonathan. I don't know.
And that's like a constant bleed, you know?
It is a lot of people, because how many are getting baptized every year?
Yeah, and probably 80% of those are kids.
Right.
Exactly.
There can't be that many people coming from, not in North America too. Like in North America, everybody's pretty like, my life's good.
Right, exactly.
It might be in like developing nations or something or whatever, but because that's where they're sending people where the need is great, right?
Well, that's why, like Musa had said that in Africa, like when you go to the door, if you have your Bible in your hand, like they don't want to be disrespectful, so they'll listen to what you have to say. So it's probably easier for them to get their foot in the door with people. And over here, and over here, we're just like,
get that corner on our face.
So yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like we don't care for disrespectful, where most people don't.
Right.
Say. Yeah. So, fuck. Ugh.
Okay. So, in other words, you could probably, if you bought a county and didn't pay taxes on it, you probably fit every Jehovah's Witness between a couple of hub locations. You totally could.
I mean, if a good bit of them decided to go, yeah, I mean, absolutely.
Yep. And so, but that's just it. You don't want them all to go. You want the ones who are going to fall in line to go.
You can get a lot of people in a region because I mean, like where I'm at, there's like you know how you see like markers at cities and like what the population is,
right?
Like one city is like 180,000 or something. It's a middle-sized city. So like a region might have like 600,000 people in it. So you could fit a lot of witnesses pretty easy in one area.
Welcome to Refuge City. Best life ever on the highway sign.
I mean, just when you think of it this way, a lot of witnesses look forward to the conventions, like the ones who travel and stay. Like I know that for us, if we were going to travel and stay, that was going to be like the best time, because that was the only time we really ever did much as far as vacations. Yeah. Totally. Yeah. So, and I kind of, and when everybody's in the same hotel and whatnot, you just get this, and it's not the dressed up witness. It's just when you can kind of hang out a little bit and it's not so stuffy. It's like, oh, if it could be like this, and it seems like it would be so good. I could see people going like, oh, that sounds nice. That sounds really nice. They already got people homeschooling their kids. They already got people homeschooling their kids now. So
that reminds me of leaving a circuit assembly and thinking like, oh, I'm around my brothers and sisters and stuff as you roll on at the parking lot, and then you could feel like, ooh, the world creeping on you because like that guy wasn't at the assembly hall, and like, oh, suddenly it's just all worldly people around you, and like a weird feeling. Bleh.
Yep.
I wear my lapel badge when I go to the mall after the assembly, and then
that
I
way
can spot like-minded individuals that I can have a conversation with.
Oh, did I leave this on?
Yes.
I put 2 on.
Yes. This is mine and my little brother's.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh yes. But it was a treat. It was.
Yeah.
It might have been the only treat you got to have, is to go to an overnight convention, some seedy hotel, some cheap ass booked out hotel.
So Ramada Inn that's full of witnesses and some definite knots. That it was just, but like the other side of that is, how would you ever miss a meeting if your neighbors were Jehovah's Witnesses,
right,
on both sides, and you all went to the same Kingdom Hall? You would never not miss a meeting, and you would never misspeak, because they can turn you right in. It's like the Black Mirror
episode.
Yep, it
would be like a
constant surveillance.
Yeah,
by other Jehovah's Witnesses.
Oof, I would not. No, that would be like living.
That would be horrible.
Yeah, that would be horrible, like in some kind of weird commune or something. I don't know.
Almost like you're in a cult, you know.
Imagine that. Who knew?
Plot twist.
Plot twist. It was a cult. And you know what? I know this is like off topic, but like that's why I say cult all the time. Because it's not like I'm trying to get people to feel sorry for me. I want people to know it is a cult. The Jehovah's Witnesses, they're so nice. Yes, some of the people may be nice. I don't know them, but generally speaking, they're brainwashed. They're in a cult.
They're nice because they're Jehovah's Witnesses, and they don't want you to know that they're in a cult.
Are they nice because they want to be, or are they nice because they're forced?
Bing bong.
I bet you the people at Jonestown were nice people too.
Yes, they were nice, and they thought they were building paradise.
Yeah, a lot of people are nice until they're not.
People that survived Jonestown, when they talk about how it was when they first got there, they still get emotional.
Oh,
yeah,
because they thought it was everything that they went down there for.
Love bomb. That love bomb will do you, man. And
if there's nothing better for you in the world. Okay, this is what I wanted to say about Africa, because the Jehovah's Witnesses do have a history of letting Africans be treated very, very badly under the same circumstances where they've broken the law to protect others. Anyway, so say you take every Jehovah's Witness minus African Jehovah's Witnesses, and you build a studio, and you show you constantly show the Texas or the other JW Disney World, whatever this place is, being developed and beautiful. And then the only news you get from the outside world is either stuff that they've made up or footage from a country where they've allowed the Jehovah's Witnesses to be mistreated.
Right.
Because they allow Jehovah's Witnesses to be mistreated. Witnesses who live in banned countries are mistreated because the governing body won't come up with a solution for these people to not be Jehovah's Witnesses.
Read the letters they wrote to the Nazis.
Exactly. Google Declaration of Facts from Judge Rutherford.
Yep. There you go.
Yep. So also Google that he bought a giant mansion in California for $10. He bought a giant mansion in California for $10 with
Serene.
Yeah, Beth Serene.
Oh, that's the one.
With a Cadillac, so that he could teach Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob how to drive, because their return was imminent, and they were going to take political office, and that was how they were going to take over the world. But he had, basically a
that's
wine
some
vineyard.
Scientology shit right there.
Yeah, he had a wine vineyard with women living in different houses in his backyard. This organization is corrupt. The blood doctrine that comes with the Jehovah's Witness is one of the most disgusting, dark things. And misspoke on TikTok earlier. Somebody said something about the witnesses being satanic, and I said that they were right, but that's not very clear. And I only mean that in the sense that they mean satanic, because I don't know what satanic means anymore. I only know what the rules are on a certain field,
right?
And I know that if they claim that God is love, the Jehovah's Witnesses are the opposite of that. And so when they double down on something like a blood doctrine, I believe that they do it specifically to hurt people, because that's all that the Jehovah's Witnesses have ever
there's
really been.
There's an end game to it. There's got to be an outcome that they're looking for. I'm just trying to figure it out. What you're saying about the hospital, I mean, it does make sense. What are they?
Yes.
What is the goal?
Yep.
I just don't.
If nobody will speak up for you, the Jehovah's Witnesses will speak up for you. And if the Jehovah's Witnesses speak up for you and you need a blood transfusion to live, and you would be fine with a blood transfusion if you lived, and you didn't know enough to make that choice, or they made it for you, they're wrong. They're blood guilty.
And it's the fact that they're purposely making it confusing so that way they can avoid the litigation. Like, they don't want the letters being circulated. They didn't even, and I don't know if the letters that you guys saw showed it. You might have to look at Mark O'Donnell's Reddit post, but the one letter was saying, we're glad to know that the HLC or somebody wrote, we're glad to know this information. We're regarding it as truth. Should we go now and go tell everybody?
Yeah.
And then they responded no, but if somebody asked, then let them know. So it's
yep.
It's just not really, I don't get it. It doesn't make sense. I don't know.
Did you have that part in the other letter that you had, Jonathan?
I got the 2019 here one, because I can bring it up again if you want. It's still
that'd be awesome, because I don't think I saw the 2019 one.
I'm gonna find the I'm gonna go find the.
If you want to share it, it's up now.
The Reddit.
All right, awesome.
Yeah, because that one is saying basically, I'm looking at this part here. Refrain from stating in detail exactly how individual Jehovah's Witnesses may react to separate but perhaps related routine services, such as performing a blood test. Okay, that's not the same. Who is receiving or is to receive a blood transfusion. But they're saying it's their Bible-trained conscience again.
Right. After they've already put the whole weight of the world on your shoulders, you can make your own decision. It's very, there's a lot of mental gymnastics that happen when you have to read these things.
Yeah, actually, this part, it says it's appropriate to confirm that the refusal to recommend, order, or administer blood transfusions under any circumstances by healthcare workers who are Jehovah's Witnesses is a conscientious stand of Jehovah's Witnesses based on Scripture. They're still saying it's a conscience thing.
Yep. Yeah, but you know what the right thing is.
But they're also holding that stick. If you make that decision, they're just well, they're going to hit you with that stick.
Oh man.
Okay, I found that. I don't know if you want to look at it, but I did find the Reddit post. I put it in the YouTube. I'm sorry, y'all. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, and I'm high.
Where did you find it? Because maybe I can bring it up.
Can I? Where is the?
You should be able to share it yourself.
Oh, share. Oh shit.
Yeah, that's how I did it.
Shares.
Yeah, there actually is an oh shit button on StreamYard, y'all.
Oh shit. Okay. Yeah, I don't know how to say it. Did I say yes? I don't know if I said yes or no. Fucking hell. Sorry, y'all. Oh, okay. Now it's asking me entire screen or Chrome tab. Oh, I could do Chrome tab.
Yeah, if you got one monitor, that's tab's the way to go. But I got two screens going, so.
All right.
This is a technical part of the show.
So
tell you what.
while we're talking about this, oh my gosh, Asher, you're ridiculous. Did you ever see that? It was like a documentary called Witnesses of Jehovah. It was like from the 70s.
What was it about?
It was based around friends, but it had a lot of different experiences from different witnesses. And there was a guy on there who had mentioned that his daughter, they had needed a blood transfusion for his daughter. You seen this, Asher? And he says that some elders came and were like begging him to not get a blood transfusion. And they told him that they could get a helicopter there and they could fly him and his family away from that hospital if they refused to take a blood transfusion. And the guy was finally just like, no, I'm going to give my daughter the blood transfusion. And he said that the elder said, I hope your daughter gets hepatitis from that needle they put that blood in her arm.
Dang.
The hell?
Like, that's the truth. Like, that's the truth.
That's messed up.
100%. Oh, you're not ready, right?
Oh no, I think it's ready. Is that it? Can you click?
I can click on it, but it kind of looks like Max Headroom. You know, it's a lot.
Hold on. Maybe if I
behind the looking glass over here.
Wait,
so if you go to where you push share screen,
okay,
and then you get slides, extra camera, video file,
okay.
Or you can go to share screen. If you click share screen, you can select whichever window what you want to share is in. You can just click on that and then click share, and it'll pop that on the screen.
Okay, share screen. Ay. There we go. I think I did it. Hold on. I think I might have done it.
Oh yeah, it looks like that looks like it. You ready for me to bring it out?
Yeah, can you?
Okay. Yeah, I can. Here we go.
Whoop. Sorry, because I don't know what I'm. Okay, so this is so now you actually see what I'm doing, right then?
Okay.
Okay, so this is the Reddit post, and this was okay. So is this June 15, 2018? Is that the one that we've already seen? That might be the one that we've already read. Hold on.
Nice.
Okay, so this is one of the first letters.
You've entered the matrix.
June 15, 2018. Okay, this might have been where people were starting to question. Oh, yeah, this was the one that seemed... Okay, are you okay if I read this?
Yeah, go for it. Absolutely.
Okay, so this says, Dear brothers, thank you for the loving support that you provide to assist us with managing health issues. I am writing to express my concern regarding the updated policy. Your letter dated June 15th, 2018 to all hospital liaison committees was well received. Yeah, this is the one. Elders in our circuit who serve on the hospital liaison committee informed witnesses, nurses, and their congregation of the decision. However, the majority of nurses in the circuit are not in a congregation with a hospital liaison committee. During my weekly meetings with the elders and ministerial servants, I share this decision while discussing how we can help publishers guard against the misuse of blood. The majority of the nurses in our district were not aware of this updated policy. I can only comment on the nurses in our circuit. However, I wonder how many other nurses are also unaware of this updated policy. Thank you again for all that you do to support and strengthen the brotherhood, your brother in service. So-and-so. I don't know if I should say the name. I have no idea if that's okay to do. So obviously you can see there's questions, and a lot of people are very unaware. Nurses and doctors are unaware that they made this decision, but this guy seems like, kissing ass, this is such a great decision. We're so glad that you're managing our health issues.
Right. with no qualifications. They forgot to write that part out.
Right. Did you really just say what I think you said? Like, come on now. That's wild. Okay, so that was from 2020. Oh, and this one is okay. This one's from Belgium and then from the service committee. Okay, so when members of the hospital liaison committee come into contact with witnesses, doctors, or nurses, they can inform them of the new direction found in the June 15th, 2018 letter. There is no need for the HLC members to search out witnesses, doctors, and nurses to explain them the new policy. Thank you, your brother's service committee. So that was dated 2019. So now they're saying, don't go search them out and tell them. Okay, so service committee says, dear brothers, we write you regarding the below letter about the propriety of administering a blood transfusion when directed by a supervisor. As requested in this letter, no general letter has been sent to all bodies of elders to inform them of this change. Later, all hospital liaison committees were informed about this change. Letter of June 15, 2018. The letter HLCs received stated, you may inform witnesses, doctors, and nurses of this decision. They quoted that. You may inform witnesses, doctors, and nurses of this decision. Some HLCs inform witnesses, medical personnel, but others did not. This has been somehow confusing. Somehow been confusing for witness doctors and nurses, especially as they receive this information not in writing from the branch, but via HLCs or via witness colleagues. Also, more and more elders hear about this change but are not officially informed. If we received inquiries, we answer in harmony with the updated direction in correspondence guidelines. Sorry. In view of this, we wonder whether it would be possible that all witness doctors, nurses, and elders would be informed about this change. We thank you for considering this matter. Your brother's Belgium branch. This is 2019. So all these people are writing... What a freaking cluster! I'm sorry, y'all hearing this, right?
Yeah. So I love everybody's XJW content, but even like if I read too much, it's like I just hear.
Yeah, no. Yeah, that's why I want to make sure I'm not.
But no, this is insane. Like you read this, and if you're a witness, you say, "Okay, well, this is all fine. It's fine." But they're saying, hey, look, there's a rule that exists. Here's proof of a rule that exists in the organization that's not written anywhere. But you're going to hear about it, and it's going to be accurate information.
Right.
This is the most insane read.
I don't like, they're so, it's obvious that people are confused and they like, hey, would you be able to write something up so everybody can get on the same page? And then you may let people know, but we didn't say that you should go telling people. But if they ask, you could.
You know what that is, Ryan and Asher? That's a recruiting letter. That's a recruiting letter because if you move people from all over the world to a central location, you're going to need, even if it's a few, doctors and nurses who can speak the language of the people who are arriving. Mm. Imagine the world becoming more and more destabilized and you're still a Jehovah's Witness. Imagine having to be a Jehovah's Witness in a destabilized country.
No, thank you.
Nope. No, thanks.
Like, maybe we're never going to see Armageddon the way that they told us we were going to. But if you were in the Ukraine, like, do you know that this is anything different? Like, you could be dead tomorrow. Like, do you know that this is not Armageddon if you're a witness in a country that is going through active war? Imagine what those people in that mosque in New Zealand felt like. Like, right. That's horrible. And like to I shouldn't say it. To die for a faith that you can't back,
that you can't
is disgusting. But to put your children through that is something that is unspeakable.
Yeah.
Like the choices that I would have made with my family if I was still a Jehovah's Witness, man. It's just unbelievable to think about the things that we tolerated. And
yeah, because it's one thing to make that decision for yourself as an adult, as somebody who's put some thought into it, you know, even though you're still brainwashed. That's one thing. But to force your little kids to do something like that, it's wrong.
Yeah. An adult can make a choice and be wrong and stand behind their wrong choice. But children shouldn't have to.
Nope, I agree.
And there's real, like, if you're trying to become a Jehovah's Witness and you say at the end of it, I accept this as the truth, you're wrong. Like, you read it wrong. There's no entry point. There's no level of this that you should ever exist on.
You've had to do a lot of cognitive dissonance to make that shit work. A
ignored
lot of mental gymnastics. I'm telling you, my kids are what woke me up. So I'm not sure like how some of these older people have just like, I don't know how they just have stuck it out. Especially now knowing they're going to their grave. Like, the end ain't coming like they thought it was before they die. No.
You may as well ride it out and make it worse for everybody that's left.
I guess so. That's the resolve.
It's coming back. Like, the old ways are coming back. And these people are... I hate to be the uphill both ways guy. But
are you walking
it would be hard
it
would be hard for a lot of people who are witnesses now to be witnesses when I was growing up. It was a challenge. Like, it was tough. Like, going to public school and being a Jehovah's Witness and being broke, and all you got is the organization. Like, that's your one relief. And if you can't ever like look at this stuff and realize what it is, then that's when you're stuck making a decision that you don't want to make. I.e., somebody you care about is in danger of losing their life, and you can't make an informed decision.
Things were deep back then too.
What was that, Jonathan? I couldn't hear what you said.
I said things were deep back then. You talk about the the rich spiritual food. It's like back then it was like steak, and now it's like powdered milk.
Yeah.
With no water.
Yeah. It's like
where they got to explain simple words.
No
unity means being together. No kidding.
It has really been dumbed down. Like, it's really dumbed down.
Yeah. You remember rewriting the Revelation book as we went, or studying the greatest man book for the deepest parts, because there was no paragraphs in it. So you would have an elder who would break it down and give you a lesson in JW Hebrew, so you could really understand why Jesus meant that he was dying for the anointed and not for you.
Oh, God. Ay, Dios mío. Oh, the shit they just pull shit out their ass, and people are like, oh,
we sucked it right up with straw. Yeah,
it's delicious. I love it. Yep. They just talk out the sides of their ass, and we're just like, that sounds
Bible
good.
Scars, yeah.
Sounds good to me.
Man, y'all, I guess we've been doing this for a while now. I don't know how late you guys go, but I can talk about this stuff forever, but I don't know. Y'all wanna anybody have
time for a scary story. Joseph tests his brothers.
Gotta love that book.
Yep.
I got mine right next to
me. I'm afraid I'm gonna have to scoot.
Yeah, we'll wrap it up, man. We've been on for a while. I appreciate you coming on.
It was good.
It was good to talk, but check out that Reddit. Check out that Reddit though, because
I
got some
definitely
more shit on there.
But yeah, guys, this is the first episode of Foggy Frequencies. I appreciate y'all.
I love it. Thank
being
you.
a part of it. But
First
I'm gonna try
episode.
I'm gonna try to do something a little bit more regular on YouTube while I get used to it.
Nice.
But, yeah. So yeah, check us all out. All of us have TikToks. You got Tastic Churches here. You got exwitnessawake. I'm Fall Breaker Studios. I got links for all of us in the description. So
Sweet.
If anybody's interested and wants to follow us or check our stuff out, check the description. And I guess that's it, guys. Good night. Have a good night.
Thank you. Good night, y'all.
Thanks,
Jehuber.
Big up.
Big up, Jehuber.
Let's close with song number 14.
No, we've stayed too long. I'm out of here.